there going on stage and giving bhashans, I mean, the like you've never heard and cannot be repeated in TV studios. So this hateful speech was going on. There was a vicious campaign, and frankly, I mean, it's a prerogative of the state government to see allocation of resources. Where does it want its best officers? Are the officers being responsive to the demands by the people through panchayats, through whatever sort of way of communicating that they have? And is there enough sort of security on the ground? You had 8,000 paramilitary forces in, Faizabad, and here you had nothing. So I blame the square government. Squarely, I mean, we all feel responsible. Barkha, we all feel responsible. I mean, this is the time we all have to introspect. I've thought several times about what I could have done perhaps to avoid this, but essentially it's the state government that's responsible.
Well, I'm glad to hear some talk about introspection by political parties, but the state government has some very serious questions to answer. Revati Raman Singh is joining us now. Revati Raman Singh, आपकी सरकार के लिए बहुत सवाल है. सुशील कुमार शिंदे कहते हैं कि स्पेसिफिक, रेवती रमन सिंह, सुशील कुमार शिंदे से स्पेसिफिक वार्निंग थी 7 सितंबर को कि महापंचायत के साथ एक ट्रबल हो सकता है, रायट हो सकती है. आपकी सरकार ने कुछ नहीं किया. कहते हैं कि अगर आप परिक्रमा विश्व हिंदू परिषद की रोक सकते थे इतनी टफनेस के साथ, तो आप ये सब क्यों नहीं रोक सकते थे? आपने जानकर कम्युनल पॉलिटिक्स खेली है. समाजवादी पार्टी का क्या डिफेंस है?
एक तो आपको ये बता दें, आई वांट टू टेल यू स्क्वायरली दैट समाजवादी पार्टी इज नॉट टू ब्लेम, एंड दिस इज नॉट द टाइम टू प्ले द गेम ऑफ pointing out that Samajwadi Party is to blame and the other parties, they are all not doing anything. Today what has happened there, it was simmering no doubt, but our Chief Minister, who is a progressive person and who has got a vision to change the whole perception of Uttar Pradesh, is doing some such works with the opposition party.
Why did he allow the Mahapanchayat? Why did he ignore warnings? Why did he allow the Mahapanchayat? Why did he ignore the warnings? How can you just sit there and say the Samajwadi Party is not to blame? If it's not the Samajwadi Party, who is to blame, Revati Raman Singh?
To blame is the BJP, especially the BJP people. Since Amit Shah came to Ayodhya, and after that the flare-up of communal violence has taken place in Uttar Pradesh. For that, Amit Shah and BJP and Modi is responsible for what is happening in Uttar Pradesh. And nowhere the Samajwadi Party is to blame.
How is Modi responsible? The fact of the matter is, Revati Raman Singh, when the VHP wanted to take out an Ayodhya Yatra, the same Akhilesh Yadav government was very successful in stopping them. Why could you not show the same toughness with what was happening in Muzaffarnagar, especially since there were early warnings? This trouble has been brewing since August. There was a warning given on the 7th of September. There have been riots under Akhilesh Yadav's government earlier as well. In Faizabad, for example, last year, we have seen clashes in Lucknow. How can you blame Modi for all of this? What about your own responsibility?
No. My responsibility, government is there. I don't deny that. But you know, when specifically the BJP people, they have been booked under serious sections of the IPC and CRPC. They did all the mischief. They gave some bhashan which was just inciting the people.
Give me time now.
So,
yes, Ravi. My questions. I'm sorry, I don't want to be rude, but you're not answering a single question I'm raising. I have not heard a single statement of remorse from you about the deaths. But Ravi Shankar, 1 minute. Ravi Shankar Prasad, I'll allow you to come in here.
Barkha, I completely deny this utterly irresponsible and self-serving statement of my good friend Revati Babu. In June last year, 2012, in Bareilly something happened. In Koshika, Ghaziabad, it happened in September 2012. Where was Amit Shah? Where was Narendra Modi? Where was BJP? Where was VHP Yatra? Therefore, what I am trying to highlight is, I am sorry to say, but I need to completely repudiate this wholly irresponsible sweeping comment being made against my party and my leaders and colleagues, that the day Mr. Akhilesh Yadav came to power, there have been repeated impression given that this administration lives, works only for one particular aspect, biased, partisan. Therefore, reaction has been there. I told 6 incidents of 2012 when Amit Shah was nowhere on the scene. And as Jayant rightly pointed out, though I differ with him, if this government can go after a young lady IAS officer in such a brutal fashion by abuse of authority, it can go all out to prevent sons from doing their religious right protected under the constitution in the Yatra around Faizabad. Why they cannot do it? Because they have a vested interest. I again come to that, Barkha.
Okay.
You are talking of Mahapanchayat. What about before the Mahapanchayat, August 27? And yes, when I went to Ghaziabad today, I wish to clarify, the moment they stopped me, I stopped. I was going to visit the hospital and appeal for peace. But Barkha, I learned to my amazement that 12 accused who were named, no action has been taken in the case of 2 people, and the family members deceased who were accused, which led to provocation. Today, they have been removed from the status of accused. If this is the... Naturally, they have not to answer, but Revati Babu has no answer.
Okay. He has no answer, but Abhishek Singhvi, the BJP said Modiism is an excuse. And my question is, if the country can turn around, we sent a specific warning on the 7th of September, could the centre not have done anything more? After all, the Prime Minister has spoken to Akhilesh Yadav today. Could he not have done that earlier?
Look, I don't want this to degenerate into a continuous blame game. It is obvious to everybody, including Barkha, that the central government could not have done more. These are localized but serious communal incidents.
Why not?
It is even lucky that the central government could send an advisory because some of his intelligence suggested that. But frequently in such localized communal incidents, there is no information beyond the level of the state government. So that's point number 1. Secondly, I mean, you can keep on expanding the circle of blame, but to suggest that the central government ought to be responsible in any remote way, I don't think anybody remotely believes that. I have already said very seriously about the state government. But you know, every such incident has a proximate immediate cause and provocation. That undoubtedly has to be curbed by the state government, and unfortunately this has been simmering in several places in Uttar Pradesh over the last few months. It is having a domino effect. I think it doesn't even require state intelligence. It is obvious that it is going to move in this direction. There has to be preventive. We are not talking of curative. But every such incident also, Barkha, has a non-proximate, a background thing. These are tinderbox places. If you are generally, and this doesn't have to be proximate. We're not talking of Modi, but we're talking of the philosophy, the approach, the utterances, the words, the indirection with which this campaign is carried out. After all, it is not new to us how politics of polarization has been done either by the BJP directly or by those whom it calls its Parivar angles and is with them hunting like the hare and hunting
never by the Samajwadi Party.
So that is happening.
And Abhishek Singhvi, you don't think the Samajwadi Party is also guilty of polarization or politics of polarization?
How many times could I condemn the Samajwadi Party and the Akhilesh Singh government? How many Yadav government? In your program in the beginning, the first time you asked me, I have condemned him unequivocally. I have said the Congress officially condemned it 3 days ago. And I am doing it again. I am saying squarely, the government of the state has to take the blame fully. But we cannot forget also the contributing factors, the escalating factors, the conflagrating factors, and the innuendos which are spread. And the suggestions which are made. Yes.
Okay, I'm almost at the end of time, but Jayant Chaudhary, very briefly, do you agree with your ally blaming BJP? Because you just said you squarely blame the state government. Do you agree with this blame being put on the BJP?
Well, like I said, on 3rd September, there were charges framed against a BJP MLA. No action was taken. He was allowed to roam freely, go to Mahapanchayats, give provocative bhashans. So, I mean, you know, it's sort of, you're right, it is part of perhaps a political strategy that this has been going on. And we're seeing this, we've been...
I must allow Ravi 15 seconds since everyone's talking about the BJP. Okay, Ravi, 15 seconds to you, just coming in on that.
Well, Barkha, today, first of all, I am reading a lot of interesting expression, proximate, non-proximate, immediate factor, provocative factor. Come on, Barkha. What is happening in Uttar Pradesh for the last 1 year is too well known. Today, leading newspapers have already catalogued as to how many communal conflagration, violence, tension have taken place in the last 1 year, more than 50 to 60. That is before Amit Shah. That is even before Mr. Narendra Modi. Therefore, the point is very simple. Why Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi's reaction is muted? Because they depend for their survival upon Samajwadi Party support. Had it happened in Gujarat, it would have gone to the entire country. And today, let me tell you, has the government of India issued any proper advisory to the state government? No, except a casual comment by Mr. Shinde, the Home Minister. All right.
We'll have to leave it there. This debate will continue. Abhishek Singhvi, Ravi Shankar Prasad, Revati Raman Singh and Jayant Chaudhary, thanks for joining us on the Buck Stops here. We may not agree